there's no such thing, first of all, as a perfect relationship. There's no such thing as a perfect person. So instead of having to deal with another person or having to interact with another person, engage, learn about them, give up some of your entitlements, become less selfish and more selfless.
People are afraid of that. They're afraid of the new and the change and all of that stuff and the growing process that goes in a relationship.
You don't want to be challenged. You don't want to have to think differently.
All that.
Effort. Now you've got someone that is just going to cater to your every desire, your every thought. It's going to agree with you every step of the way.
To me, it sounds like, and I'm just going to be very bold and blunt and honest about this. To me, it sounds like the virtual version of the sex dolls that used to be a thing way back in the day and probably are still around, but you know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yes.
Where people would literally pleasure themselves with those sex dolls. And you cannot tell me that people are not pleasuring themselves with AI like they do with watching pornography. You know? And like the thing with the whole AI thing now is what it's doing is we're losing cultural heritage. We're losing traditional values.
We're losing recipes.
Of like, this is how you take a woman out. This is how you talk to a woman or a man, or this is how you talk to a person. Now it's, how's this any different than the gay agenda, the transgender agenda of like, we're playing pretend, you know? Like you're pretending to be something that you're not, or you're wanting something to fulfill an emotional detachment that you refuse to try in the real world, where it's like, I'm refusing to try with a person, the effort that we talked about. So now it's like, I need some sort of gravitation. So it's like people that they feel lost from society, or they feel like they're not good enough or whatever, or they can't get a boyfriend or girlfriend, or they have, you know, sexual fantasies. What do? They gravitate to pornography, right? Because that's their way of having that gratification or that temporary, like, how do you say it? Like satisfaction. You know, it's like people that smoke or drink, right? They get that temporary high or that, you know, tipsy, drunk feeling to get that temporary, like, you know, relaxation or gratification or satisfaction. And I think that's what AI is doing now. We're forgetting now the traditional, like, storytelling of things, the cultural heritage of how things were done, you know? And man, I mean, I just hope there's still some people out there, and I know there is, but like where they're going to fight for truth and morality again and say like, this is wrong, you know, like there are still those people out there that want the TV land or like I Love Lucy kind of relationship where it's like, hey, you went and knocked on the girl's, you know, house and talked to her dad.
Danny's timing is good. Not too early, but not late. Very nice.
You know, or you picked her up, you opened a door for her, you know, drove her to a date, and, you know, you were kind. And it's not this whole like AI tells you like yay or nay on what to do. It's like, what is the AI replacing the Holy Spirit now? You know, where now the AI is.
We do have a headline for that too.
So yeah, I'll let you go here.
Well,
but
yeah, no, you're right. I want to stay on this because what you said about we're
playing pretend.
We're doing away with the cultures and traditions. What does that Bible say about, or the scriptures say about not removing the ancient landmark?
Yeah, for
of
real.
Our forefathers. You know, there's a reason why there are boundaries.
Why they want to remove the Constitution even here in America. So, or have had people try to do that.
Yes. The deeper issue here too is we are saying that we're rejecting what God has originally put in place. We're rejecting God's way and saying, you know what? I prefer this other way to fulfill those needs, those desires.
The heritage is gone at that point.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle, because while there are vices and there are things that people generally gravitate to, I think it's a deeper issue, man. And I think the issue that comes from things like this, where people self-isolate into just staying addicted to online things or pornography, is, I think at the deep root, man, there is a sense of shame.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of guilt where they feel like they're not worthy. And I'm being real right now. I don't know, you know, we don't always know what happens with someone in their childhood. Perhaps it's something traumatic. Perhaps it's, a particular event. Maybe it's a form of rejection.
Yeah.
But
I'd say,
listen,
yeah.
all of us are worthy to come to the Father. Every single one of us can come to Christ and ask him to bring us into a place of restoration and allow him to change us and mold us and bring us into a place of wholeness so that we don't have to get an AI girlfriend or AI boyfriend or drink or smoke or be promiscuous. It honestly hurts my heart seeing this, man, with what's going on in our generation, because we've already seen it. So I'm kind of getting a little bit choked up. Is what's happened to our generation is really unfortunate. A lot of our generation has dealt with single parent homes. A lot of our generation has dealt with some type of trauma, or rejection, or, also coming into where, if there was a 2-parent home, a lot of times some people's parents might have just been working all the time, so they were ignored. Whatever it was, for whatever reason, I believe our generation hasn't really been given a fair shot to really experience God until now.
Well, here's what I want to say.
And I think that now is that opportunity, but we have to start combating this stuff.
So here's the thing. I researched this too, and it said, in something that I found, it said that a survey finds that 22% of Americans say they interact with artificial intelligence almost constantly or several times a day. Another 27% say they interact with AI about once a day or several times a week. That's a quarter of this country. So imagine if a quarter of this country, instead of interacting with AI, was going to wisdom like their parents, the Holy Spirit, were connected to a solid foundation where people weren't sitting around confused and not trusting themselves. It's like people go to AI and ask AI a question on, like, one thing I've seen too. People will literally go to AI on how to respond to like text messages to their significant other.
If there's like conflict or something.
Both. I mean, legitimately.
Shayna, I don't do that. I love you.
So like legitimately, there are people out there that like, their significant other will send like some sort of like text that seems confusing. And they'll write that, like copy and paste that text into the AI thing or something. Sure. And then AI will like give them suggestions on like what to text back.
Clean it up. Yeah, clean it up a little bit.
And be like, this is how you should, like, it's crazy. And we're not even getting into the whole thing about like your identities now being tracked over in China. So we're not even getting into the dangers of that.
True.
I mean, we're just talking from an emotional standpoint here. But, I've always said there are consequences to everything you do in life, good or bad. Yeah. So there's either good or bad consequences to every decision you make in life.